Again, if you have any questions, just let us know. We're going to try to keep this presentation down to 30 minutes today. So today's, we're going to talk about things for 30 minutes, and like I said, we have an extra 30 minutes also if you want to stay around afterwards, ask questions, or ask them along the way. Like I said, if you want to raise your hand, that'd be great. Here's our agenda for today. We're going to do some quick introductions. We have some additional guests on with us today that we'll introduce. And then we'll talk about some of the challenges in apparel and footwear that we've seen through some implementations. And then we'll talk about the solutions we can provide, ask any questions. There's a case study out on our site. We'll discuss that case study a little bit also, just to make sure that you can kind of tie some of this to real life. So on the introductions, just to tell you real quick about Third Wave. Third Wave Business Systems has been in business for just our 20th year, so 19 plus years. We've been an SAP partner since 2003, so 10 years. We're an inaugural member of the SAP Software Solution Provider Council. We're a gold partner. We sell both SAP and products that extend SAP. And then additionally, we are the only active quality management certified partner in North America, which really talks about how we do our implementations and how we make sure that we have quality implementations for our customers and present quality products to them too. We win annual awards with SAP every year on the reseller side and SSP side. And in 2009, we got a big award called the Pinnacle Award around some innovation products that we've built. On the phone with us today also are two companies, industry leaders in apparel and footwear. They're Argentis and Repspark. They have brought to us and our customers some really best-of-breed solutions with very tight integration to SAP. Their management has decades of apparel and footwear experience, so they understand the issues, some of which we're going to talk about today, and they've been trusted partners and worked with us over the years. So very happy to have them on board with us. Here's some background of mine. I am the COO at Third Wave Business Systems. I've been executing business plans for about 25 years through technology, and I like to look at it that way instead of saying, hey, I've been providing technology to folks, because it's really around the business and how to execute your business plans and how to be successful, and technology is just a conduit for doing that. I've been fortunate enough to be a founder of two consulting companies in the past that were successful, and we sold them off, so it was a good situation. And we brought value to large companies and small companies, so we have a pretty good background of what a lot of people require. And at Third Wave, we work with many small, medium apparel and footwear companies, and have had some very good success in that area. And finally, as I've personally program managed dozens of ERP implementations, some of which are in footwear and apparel industry, some of which are not. But we try to take our learnings from that and present it to folks like you today. So just jump right into it. Some of the challenges that we're going to talk about today. The challenges at a really high level that we're going to talk about today are these. Some of them, some of them you can address. Some of them you need some new processes around addressing. A lot of these are really around as your company grows and your brand becomes more and more successful. These pains become more proficient in your business. So the first one's real basic: complexity around order, around style, size, and color. Complexity of distribution in many locations. Again, it really depends on your customers and how big they are. Knowing what's available to sell, what's available to promise in the future, and scaling your business. So we'll get into a little more detail about these, but I just want to give you an overview. Complexity of order processing, style, size, color is one of the ones that come up pretty quickly for folks. So normal ERP system or non-apparel systems really have SKU for each product, but it's a little more complex with apparel and footwear companies. There's a unique challenge around those SKUs and how do you organize your inventory. The matrix of style, color, size requires a different way of looking at the inventory for the client and for the sales rep. So it's important to make sure that you can have both folks seeing that. And then being able to have sales orders and invoices presented in a way that makes sense for folks during the order processing, again, for customers and sales reps. This is one of the areas that, quickly, as you start to sell, becomes a challenge for a lot of apparel and footwear organizations. As your brand matures and your customers become larger, the distribution to many locations is something that comes up, right away. And there's a lot of high stakes if you don't do a good job distributing to your big customers. Big customers, order from you. They assume it's going to be there, and there's a lot of penalties and chargebacks, or maybe even losing the customer if you don't do this part well. So large customers, they have a lot of centralized buying that they all ask you to deliver to many distribution, many different stores. The orders can be large and very complex with destinations that, also different destinations complicate the process. And this becomes a place where that's error prone and causes delays and causes customer issues and really, can hurt the customer relationship with your client. The next one's interesting. The next part is interesting because it's really around what's available to promise and available to sell, and that may be a basic thought for some folks, but I'll describe a little further. Buying patterns of customers in this industry, require advanced orders, right? So it's spring and you're ordering for summer. It's summer, or early summer, you're ordering for fall. Those types of things, and understanding where your manufacturer is going to get done and when it's going to be in inventory and when it's going to be available is a huge part of the issues that people see. Allocation of stock to future orders is imperative. So if you promise someone you're going to have delivery on a certain date, you can't use that stock in another customer or another area. A lot of the customers that we have a retail business, and whether that's real small retail like a website or something like that, and wholesale orders that really compete for the same inventory. So again, that makes it really important to understand what is available for me to sell to my retail website and what is available for me, and what have I promised out to my wholesalers in the future. So again, a little bit of complexity there, and you need a mechanism for being able to allocate that stock. And then understanding the inventory levels for that B2C site. Most of that inventory is automated, gets pushed up to the site saying, hey, this is what we have available, this is what we need. And once that happens, then that's something that really, you got to have to really have that down. Otherwise, your retail customers are stealing from your wholesale customers. And scaling your business. This is, again, we're fortunate that a lot of the customers that we get are looking for help in ERP, looking for help with these particular issues, are growing customers. And then, so they're in a position where they're not only growing, but they're growing quickly, and they want to understand, as I scale my business, how do I do that without eating away at my profit margins? So that being said, when a complexity and volumes increase, the more resources are added. That's typically what happens if you don't have to look at the processes, which is in the second bullet. Processes need to be revisited as you add, either large customers, different channels, B2B, B2C customers. So you need to look at those processes and say, all right, how can we keep our current staff, customer service and accounting the same, and keep growing those customers. Sales support growth to maintain the level of customer service requires, so customer service can't suffer even if you have a lot more customers. So you need to put some automated things in place to help with that customer service. And then growing pains often result in a missed delivery date for some folks. So you know, that again, that's something that you know, you get away with once or twice, but if that happens on a regular basis, then that's when you start losing customers. So what are the solutions? Well, I'm going to see if I can unmute some folks here because I may be able to, because I'm going to have them jump in on some calls too later on. So Megan, you're unmuted, so if when I come up to your slide, I don't know if you're the one that's going to talk about it, but just let me know, and we'll make sure that people can hear you on your solution part.
Okay, this is Dak Clark, and I'll be speaking for Repspark.
Okay, excellent. As long as I can hear you and everyone else can, that's beautiful.
Perfect. Thanks, Mark.
Yeah. So, given the industry challenges, you know, just want to talk to you about a few things that you know that may be obvious, may not be obvious. And really things that you need to consider about, you know, especially these challenges that we talked about today. And I know there's many more challenges, and we could spend, you know, 6 hours going through the challenges and you know, each individual challenges. But we thought we would just bring up a few today, just because these ones that we see across a lot of our customers. But these are, given the industry challenges, we'll go through, you know, a couple slides on each one of these. But it's really around choosing extensible, configurable software, right partner, and some best-of-breed solutions. And like I said, I have Argentis and Repspark on the phone today. When we get to the Q&A portion of this, you know, we can unmute at anyone and make sure that, you know, we get all your questions answered. But that being said, we'll get into these a little bit further. So given the industry challenges, again, extensible, configurable, affordable software, right? Extensible, configurable really talks about having a flexible platform that you can, you know, that you can mold to fit your business. We use SAP Business One. We're very big proponents of that software. It's got 40 localizations, you know, so 40 different languages. It extends, you know, over 500, you know, pre-integrated software solutions and horizontal solutions as well as vertical solutions that we're going to talk about today. The initial cost of ownership is really small. You know, some folks can get in for 10 to 15K, and it's adopted by tens of thousands of customers. So one of the facts I like to throw out during when we talk about this software is, you know, people think of SAP as, oh my goodness, that's a big company. You know, some of the largest companies in the world run SAP. But a quick fact is that 79% of their customers are all small, medium enterprises, so small, medium businesses, just like yours. So don't let the SAP the name kind of throw you off. It's a great product, and we support over 130 SAP customers, and they're, you know, all various sizes. Choosing the right partner is really up there with choosing the right software. So when you talk about partners, you really want to talk about the apparel and footwear experience that they have. Again, you don't want to waste a lot of time teaching them about your business, but you do want to have someone who can bring a fresh perspective and maybe some lessons learned from other apparel and footwear implementations to your business for you, and give you some suggestions that may make you think about things a little differently. The second one, again, is shared goals, and this may seem obvious to folks, but reality is, you know, find someone that has your shared goals and is willing to bring to you solutions that are required at the time, you know, based on the growth of your company, is hugely important. And so if you know, some partners look to quickly sell you as much as they can up front, and then you'll use that later on, and in the meantime you're spending a lot of money on maintenance, spending money on software that you're not getting real value out of. Having someone that has that, you know, patient, be your partner, have those same goals is really important. Again, understanding how they do business with other folks is something that you want to think about. To get some more of the technical or tactical solutions is really, you know, through our partners, through Repspark and Argentis, SAP gets configured to have a product with multiple ship addresses, a matrix view of things. So in these slides, you'll see that there is, you know, a ship to, sizes, medium, large, medium, small, different colors, and you just go through that matrix, and you can key in the orders the way they want them, and then have the ability to have that come out. It makes sense to the people that you're talking to on the phone or their order forms that they're sending in, and it makes sense to the folks that are actually taking the orders, and really reduces a lot of the issues with data entry and a lot of errors going forward. And this is if you're taking the orders yourself. We're going to get to a piece later on that Repspark talks about, which allows you to grow your business and allows your customers to help place those orders. Another component of this is the available to promise, available to sell. Again, this is an important part of the product because what it does is it allows you, and hopefully you can see it on the screen, to choose product sizes, colors, allocate those quantities, understand what has been allocated for that customer, what's been allocated for other customers, when it needs to be delivered, what are the promise dates, and allows you to really understand what that allocation is and when it's allocated. Again, most products either that are industry specific may have some of this, but they won't be as robust and have the back end as SAP, or a lot of SAP without our partners. It really helps. This is a seamless solution that really helps bridge that gap and helps apparel and footwear companies like yours. And then I'll let the Repspark folks talk about their portal, but it's really around scaling your business, and they help in that area.
Yes, I'm speaking for Repspark. This is Dak Clark, and I have been in the business for over 40 years from a retailer, 10 years as a retailer, and then the last 30 years as a manufacturer. And I have been the CEO of Repspark for the last 3 years. Prior to that, and most recently, I sold a business called Sanuk to Deckers. And so I've been a user of these systems, and the SAP solution is an excellent one. And the thing that Repspark offers is solutions at an area that typically has a lot of problems, and that's in getting the orders into the building, getting the orders correct, because typically most of us depend on independent sales reps, and while they're great at relationship building with the customer, they're not particularly great at follow-through or getting things right. And what Repspark does is it allows the sales force to have a complete sales force automation tool that also extends to B2B. It offers complete integration within SAP, and it delivers the information seamlessly to the sales rep in a way that the sales rep can use and utilize real time in the field. There's robust sales information, real-time inventory, available to sell, order submission, order status, invoices, reporting, and a whole host of other order building tools that really allow the rep to build an order quickly so that they have less time in the field, less time preparing the orders. One of the most important things about Repspark is it has an immediate order validation tool. In other words, a rep cannot enter an order that can't be shipped. He can't enter an order in a delivery window that's not matched, and those orders are immediately validated. And if there's a problem with the order, Repspark will walk you through a way to split that order and use that in-depth data that's provided by SAP. And finally, it's a multi-platform product. That means it can flow through the web. Therefore, it's available on mobile like iPad. We have a native iPad application, and of course, it can be used on any stand-up overhead or any computer that you have in the field. The results that most of our clients have really experienced is a reduction in overhead growth. As Mark alluded, as businesses grow, they become way more complex, and usually one of the clinch points is customer service. And customer service ends up spending a lot of time fixing problems that are created at the sales level. Because of the order validation tool, that basically eliminates that problem, and the orders come in that are shippable, that match your available to sell, so you can meet your promises to your customer. Most of our customers have been able to grow without adding substantial customer service staff, or where Repspark has come in, they're able to reduce their overhead. Overall, we deliver improved performance at the sales level because orders match availability and ship dates. There's 24/7 access and much quicker order turnaround all the way through the system. And what that ends up is increased sales because you sell more because sales reps are informed. One of the things that I always like to say is information is power, and when you use a system like SAP matched with Repspark at the front end at the sales level, you have power and you're able to conduct your business in a much more professional and efficient way. Mark?
Excellent. Thank you so much. You did a great job on explaining how they tie together. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
So we have a case study up there, but I figured I would spend a few minutes on here and just talk through the case study that's out on our website. The company is called Javianis. They do sell flip-flops. They have a pretty good brand. They have a very big customer base. They've given us permission to talk about them as a case study example. But I'll give you some high-level points. There's a lot of detail in the case study itself, but again, this really just validates what we've been talking about here today. It's a footwear company. It's growing wholesale and a retail business. Like we talked about earlier, the website being their retail side. They purchased and implemented Business One. We worked with them to implement Argentis' apparel and footwear component of it, so they can actually see the data and see the orders in a way that makes sense for apparel and footwear folks. They've integrated Repspark's B2B website with Business One, so it allows them to take and get that power out in the field via website to folks that want to order, for businesses through that website. Totally integrated. The biggest point that I think is that they've grown, and they won't allow me to talk about numbers because their parent company is a public company, but they've grown 80% since we've been working with them, and their staff has been consistent. So their staffing level in customer service, their staffing level on the accounting side has stayed consistent. So they're doing a great job. They really understand that this is something strategic for them, and they've done a great job as far as making sure the right resources are in place and pointing their business in that direction. That being said, I just want to see if there's any questions for folks. I'm going to unmute some people and see if there's any questions. I'm going to unmute everyone actually, and see if there's any questions. I'm going to leave this up here. This is our kind of call to action after this. So hold on, let me just unmute. Okay. Everyone's been unmuted who has put in their PIN code so that it can be unmuted. Is there any questions that you have? I'll kind of prime the questions that we've had in the past. So the solutions that we talked about, SAP and Repspark and Argentis, I mean, all of these, depending on how complex you are and how big your business is and how much time you're willing to be put into it. And I guess the other mitigating factor is how much of the best practices that are built into these products you're willing to use. All can be done in weeks. This isn't months and years, and it doesn't take a long time to get these things done. It's really around just putting the time in there. And like I said, there's best practices built into all of these products that allow you to take advantage of what other people have developed in the past and from lessons learned across the industry. So again, that's just a quick question that most people ask: how long does it take? Because it really lends itself towards how expensive is it. Any questions? Aaron, has there been any questions that we've missed along the way?
No, I think you covered everything.
Okay.
No other questions.
Well, just what I'll do is I'll just talk about what's next and what you can do if this has been beneficial for you guys. The next step is really if you want to go to our website, twbs.com, or if you go to that URL that's out there, twbs index.php apparel and footwear services. That'll allow you to download the case study and the white paper. What we suggest for folks that don't necessarily have just more specific questions about our approach, software, business processes, give us a call. We'll certainly reach out and have a conversation with you. Give us a call. We'll spend 30 minutes with you and discuss what our thoughts are and what the next steps would be from your perspective. And then the Repspark information is here. That's Megan's contact information and her phone number. And our Gentis's information, that's Gustavo's information and his phone number also. And what we're going to do is this presentation is going to go out on the web, probably through our YouTube channel and onto our website. So you'll have the ability to watch it, again, if there's something that you've missed along the way. So I'll put it out there one more time. Is there any other questions that you have?
Mark, this is Dak. I wanted to just add one thing. A lot of people, if they're looking at implementing a system like this, probably really don't appreciate what a system like this can do for their company. A system like SAP or meeting up with Repspark, it's amazing the transformation that it takes a company through from being, a good company that's probably well operating to a really highly professional manufacturing organization. And a lot of people will look at these different systems out there, maybe be afraid and want to walk before they run, so they buy a small system, and then they move up to a system like SAP. My recommendation always would be to start running, because the time and effort it takes to implement a small system is no less or more than it takes to do a full business solution. And the full business solutions will get you there a lot faster. And those people that we've seen in our client base over the years who have gone with smaller systems thinking that they'll upgrade, wish they would have gone with the bigger system at the first, from the get-go, because the smaller systems typically don't have full solutions for all the different business challenges that you have in growing a business. And so I would just always like to encourage people to, take a little bigger step maybe than you think you might be able to, because the little step and the big step are going to take about the same amount of time, but you're not going to get the payoff. And you will eventually make a move to a better solution.
That's a great point, Dank. And what we've seen is in our case study is the next step for a lot of these companies, they grow so fast, and their customers are the big ones like Federated and Nordstrom's and those companies who quickly, when they want to do business and they get to a point where they're buying enough product, they quickly want to do EDI and a host of other things that those small point solutions aren't going to be able to do, and so and it happens in light speed.
It really does, and the cost that it adds to operating the business without having those solutions installed properly can show up in a lot of places like chargebacks and things like that, because you're not able to deal with the complexity of that business. And system providers like SAP and Repspark can make that so much more seamless for a business than a lot of these smaller systems that are out there.
Absolutely. So, well, folks, thank you very much for your time today. I'll put one more call out if there's any questions. Just either raise your hand or type them into the chat, or actually ask them, and we'll get them answered for you. If not, here's our contact information is up on the screen, and we'd be more than happy to talk to you collectively or individually. And like I said, we're very tight partners with our Gentis and Repspark, and work very closely with them. So we'd be happy to make introductions, or work together to make sure we have a solution for you. Well, thank you so much, and have a great day, and I hope this was helpful. And I think we're going to send out a survey at the end, and your feedback on that survey would be very helpful, so we can adjust these webinars moving forward. Thank you.